my name is Liz and welcome to my channel. As you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to talk about manifestation, okay? And I'm going to go from top to bottom. I'm going to tell you guys how I manifested tens of thousands of dollars and this move to LA. So, get you whatever you need to drink, honey. If you want to smoke something, let's get into it. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I've said this was coming for so long, and here it is finally. Finally feel ready enough. You know how we are. As people, we take forever to feel ready, but I feel ready now. I'll tell you a little bit about me. I am an actress who recently moved to Los Angeles, Tampa, Florida, to LA. And I just wanted to share my story with you guys because I feel like it could help a lot of people. So I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, short as possible. We'll see how that goes, okay? So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just gonna preface this by saying that nothing is possible without God. God literally makes everything possible. That spirit, that force, that energy, the source, whatever it is that resonates with your soul, God, the title of God resonates with my soul, so that's what I'm going to refer to throughout this video, but use it interchangeably. I guess I'll just begin. I don't want to make this too rambly. I know y'all don't have time for it. So I want to speak from the heart, okay? This is very important that you guys connect with this, because I think so many people are still in the dark about manifesting, and I want more people to be enlightened because, that makes the world, that it really does. It really makes people happier, makes the people around you, the people you love. I'm going to drink some water. Nah. Okay, let's get serious. To keep it concise, let's just talk about how, from the beginning, I knew I wanted to come to LA in 2020. I knew I was going to. Not say I wanted to, I was going to. So, by the end of 2019, I was getting my mind right for it. So, I told a few of my other acting friends that was a move that I wanted to make. As an actress, most people know you either, if you're from another city, you either move to LA or New York, because those are the hubs. Those are where most of projects take place. Atlanta as well. But I decided I wanted to move to Los Angeles because I didn't want to have to wait. I didn't want to have to start over when I did move here. I know that although I could have moved to Atlanta and really went headstrong into it and really made connections there, I decided I didn't want to wait, and I believed in myself enough that I can make it happen here. So I also knew that I wanted to come here with money. I didn't want to come here and have to struggle the first few months because, let's be real, it's Hollywood, if you're not prepared in at least the tools that you need to survive, how are you going to be prepared with everything else? Because it's not for the faint of heart, okay? So let's kind of start by talking about my original move to LA. The way God works, if it's for you, you'll constantly get signs. So I told my friends friends and people from my class and so on and so forth that I wanted to move to LA. And so someone who is now my friend invited me to live with her. At the time, we knew each other from acting class, but we were close. This was back in February. I wasn't prepared enough to move when she was ready to move, which was in February. So I'm like, ugh, I would love to, but my coins ain't together. I'm not together. It's not the right time. February is really soon. So I'm like, okay, well, at least now I have it kind of going in my head. So fast forward back in, I think it was the end of February, another friend, this is number number 2 now. Another friend of mine who was in my same acting class was like, hey, I'm moving to LA too. I'm moving in April. Would you like to live with me? I found a spot. Get this, y'all. It's me and 3 other girls, and we found an apartment, and you'd be paying $540 a month. And I was like, in LA? I really don't have to get my coin together if I'm paying $540 a month. I can figure it out. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm moving to LA. And I said, I can't move in March, but I can move in April. So I had said in my head, I'm moving to LA in April, right? This is February. So by March, I'm starting to get ready. And, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but, I'll figure it out. Well, pandemic hit. And so I was like, I can't move all the way across country in the middle of the pandemic when everything was real shut down back then. So, I started to get a little frustrated, but I believe in God so much, So, and I believe that what you think about, what you want, what you desire is already yours. It's already yours. It's already yours. So you just have to tap into that dimension or that portal or whatever you want to call it. You have to tap in and be ready enough to receive it. So I was a little upset, and I'm like, dang, everything is falling apart. I don't have a job. I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, fast forward to May 9th to be exact. Me and my mom went to this grocery store, and I found a candle, an intention candle, and it was red, and it had fortune teller on it, and it had a bunch of numbers on it. And I was like, this is interesting. I wonder what these numbers mean. So, and I was like, that'd be kind of interesting. Maybe I could play these numbers in the lotto. Got the candle, forgot all about that. Had it in the car. This is May 9th. This is my stepdad's birthday. My stepdad's passed on. He passed away in 2013. So I forgot about the candle, and then I randomly thought of it. I'm like, oh shoot, this is the next day. I'm like, I gotta get a candle for my car. Pull that candle out of my car. Look at the numbers again. And I was like, dang, I forgot to play the lotto. What are the odds that maybe those numbers would be? What are the odds, right? I looked up the lottery numbers in Florida, and they were literally 4 out of 5 of the numbers that were on the candle were winning lottery numbers. So, needless to say, I was pissed at myself, so upset. And I'm like, damn, I could have been good. I could have had a lot of money, right? So I'm like, imagine, like I said, I was upset, but I'm like, what if this is maybe an omen? What if this is a sign? So I'm like, you know what? I've never been able to attract this amount of money in a lump sum before. Let me put my powers to work. Let me try to see if this is if all that I believe about the law of attraction, about manifesting things is true. Let me give it a shot with this, right? So from that moment on, I decided that I would manifest a sum of money, and I gave myself a specific deadline. I said it was gonna be in my account by July 21st, 2021. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get it. I don't know where it's coming from. Don't know those things, but I do know that it's for me and it's coming. So, I'm gonna tell you the tools and the steps that I did in order to manifest this money. So I started journaling. This sum of money is coming to me. I don't know how it's coming to me, but I believe that it's coming to me, and I believe that if God so willing, that it will be mine, right? So I kept writing that down every day. I kept meditating and thinking about that number. I would listen to, there's these audio, they're called subliminals if you're not familiar. Subliminals, binaural beats, but mostly subliminals. So subliminals are, they're these videos. There's plenty of them on YouTube where there will be a subliminal message that you can't audibly hear with your subconscious mind or your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind picks it up. And your subconscious mind is more powerful than your conscious mind, because it's working when you're awake, it's working when you're asleep, it's working when you're not paying attention. It's always working and picking up on things and obtaining them and storing them, right? So there's subliminal messages about money that you can find on YouTube. So I started listening to those. I used to play them in my sleep because when your sleep is kind of more powerful, because your conscious mind is like always kind of blocking things, but if you're sleeping, it's fair game, right? So I would play those as I slept. Again, I would journal. I put the number, I put a check of the amount on my vision board. I put the Hollywood sign on my vision board. All of that. So, I'm getting ready to move to LA. And I decided that it was going to happen in August, right? So a friend of mine, she also wanted to move to LA too. So me, her, and then 3 other of my girlfriends decided we would come out here and we would scope out different apartments and see where we'd like to live. So we all decided we'd come out here. I think it was July 15. Can't quite remember the date. But we bought our tickets, bought an Airbnb. We were set to stay here, I believe it was 5 days. And the very same day that we were supposed to fly out, we got notice that Governor Newsom, the governor of California, put out another stay-at-home order and shut everything down. The very same day we were flying out. So we're like, what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna stay? We reached out to some friends in California. The consensus was we didn't want to get stuck there because, sometimes, they were the whole COVID with the flights. It's like you got to quarantine for 14 days. We weren't going to stay there that long. We were afraid that we wouldn't be able to fly back in. So, and people had to work and everything. So we canceled the flight. And, here I am upset again because I'm like these plans that I keep making are not happening, And I'm like, gosh, like what is going on, God? Like I'm doing all the right things. Honey, surrender to God's will, for my will to thy will, because let me tell you, when you trust God, you will receive more than you ever could imagine, can fathom. Our human minds are unable to tap into the vast expansion, unlimited mind of God, right? So our minds are limited because we're here in our human selves, right? So, that time comes, nothing happens. I'm like, all right, well, I'm still gonna plan to move. So I'm saving some money and I get an audition. For this show. And it's a Tyler Perry show. And I had worked with Tyler Perry the year before. I worked on this show called The Oval. And I got word from one of the producers, the actual vice president, that they would like to work with me again. And I'm like, yo, thank you. I'm so grateful. I would love to work with you guys again, right? I'm so happy, right? So fast forward a year, I get an audition for this show. I got the audition on a Friday night at 8 p.m. And it was 6 pages. And I hit up my friend. I was like, can you put me on tape for this? And he's like, sure. You just have to come at 8 a.m. So I'm like, oof, I have no time to learn these lines. But, I went through it and I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of like a piece of cake. I feel her. I already can connect to the character. So set the tape in. Monday, my agent calls me and she's like, hey Liz, you've been put on hold, and don't get too excited, but they're gonna be letting you know pretty soon. So that was a Monday, and was that Monday? Yep, that was Monday because I went to my amazing yoga class that night. And my yoga instructor, if you guys are in the Tampa Bay area, her name is Thancia, and she works at Crunch. She works at the Channel Side one, she works at the Hillsborough one, and she holds classes, I think it's Monday and Wednesday at the Hillsborough one. I'm not sure of her schedule, but her name's Thancia on Instagram. Thancia Anderson, I believe. Thancia Anderson. I'll have to tag her, but incredible woman. I love her so much. She's become a friend of mine. So that night, before class, after class, mind you, the role I was auditioning for was a yoga instructor. And I just heavily got into yoga. Like, I'd always loved yoga, but it got heavy during the pandemic because I needed something to survive, right? And I didn't know what else, why I was so connected to yoga at that time, but I was just trusting it. And I'm like, this makes me happy this just makes me happy. So like, I didn't need any more explanation other than like, this is for me. I love this, right? So I told her that I had something to tell her, but I didn't want to tell her until it actually happened, right? So that night, I decided that I would there's this thing called affirmative action, and it's called acting as if, and basically doing something that confirms it in your mind that this is for you, that it's coming to you, right? So I said, let me take some photos doing yoga and let me post them on my Instagram just in case production is looking at my Instagram, that they can know that like I'm a yoga instructor for sure. If it's between me and somebody else and that somebody else doesn't do yoga, I got you, right? Because this is what I do. So I was like, all right, cool. Took some pictures, posted them on Instagram. The very next day, I kept myself in a high vibration. This is very, very important because you're not able to attract at low vibes. You can only attract things that are at that frequency. So there's different frequencies that are put out into the world, or put out, right? So depending on what you're trying to attract, you have to match that vibrationally. You have to be here. You can't be down here and thinking you're gonna get something that's here. It doesn't align. It's physics. It's the way God intended it to be, because a grateful heart is able to receive. A grateful heart is able to receive. If you're not grateful, if you're not living in gratitude, if you're not living in a space of being grateful or thankful, then how can you ever allow something to come in? It's impossible. So I said, because I knew that, I was like, I'm gonna go into my job that I really don't care for too much. I've been here far too long. I decided that I was gonna quit. I said, I'm not gonna work here in March. I'm not gonna work here any longer in March. Pandemic hit and we lost our jobs. So I didn't work there in March, right? But I decided that I'd be grateful. I'd go into that job on a high vibe. I was like listening to my like favorite music, and I was like, allowing myself to stay there, right? So I'm there, and I was in the break room, and I get a call from my manager, and she's like, "You've been approved." And I just screamed. And everybody's like, "You good? Like, everything okay?" And I'm like, honey, more than okay. And this is the kicker. I look at the email. My agent's like, check out the offer letter that they sent you. I was like, all right, cool. I look at the email, and it's the exact number that I had been manifesting for months. That's what they offered me. I just stared at it like, are you for real? God. It's God. It's God. It's just God. It's God. So I say all that to say, I hope you enjoy the story, first off. And I say all that to say, it's all about the intention. It's all about being so specific. I didn't know how that money was coming. Forget about the how. The how doesn't matter. That's very important. The how doesn't matter. And the thing that you have to remember is God gives you the power. You are a manifester. You have energy within you. You're not without energy ever. You are energy, right? So if you connect to a specific energy and feel the feeling of receiving it already, it's yours. So journaling, feeling the feeling, affirmative action. I did everything. I had incense that were like money attracting incense, and truly believed. You have to believe. You can't do it without belief. Money attracting incense that allowed me to like feel it when I was meditating. Another thing. So how about this? It gets even better than this, guys. I wrote down I would make more money than I envisioned or anticipated shooting. I wrote that down. And guess what? I got paid you get paid as an actress for your fittings, you get paid for your hair and makeup days, you got paid for COVID tests. So I literally made tens of thousands of dollars more than the offer letter. Guys, I can't make it up. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. I hope that you received the tools that I use for myself, and I hope that you implement them too. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'd love to go into it deeper. If you have any ideas of what you'd like me to film, please ask away. I'm here for this amazing journey. I have other manifestation stories if you guys are interested. So I'm here for the community. I'm here to enlighten people on their ability to manifest. I'm here to tell you that it's not just me. I believe we all have powers. Some of us are more connected than others, but it's not that you can't get connected. You can do anything that you want. The world is yours. It's available to you. It's you, it's a thing, and whatever's in between.